My name's Keenan, welcome to Earned and Not Given, and today, this is the first video of actually installing things on this 4Runner, and today we're installing a stereo system. We got this dash kit from Metra, and we also have this Boss audio system to install, which is touchscreen and Apple CarPlay. And then for speakers, we have this Orion CB52 and Orion CB42 to install for speakers. And we have this kicker competition to install, which will have this amplifier for 1500 amps. We're gonna install that, and then to power the whole thing, we're gonna do this amplifier kit. Here's some close-ups of everything we got. All this stuff is from Amazon. It'll all be directly linked in the description below to everything we got. So we're taking off these little plastic pieces, or plastic pieces cover this, and now we're unscrewing each and every single one of them along there to get access under this, so we can route everything under the carpet to, and then we can also route to these speakers here. So we have to take off this entire panel, and then same on this side, so we can route everything to everything.
Well, we got a little modification we're gonna have to do today. We're gonna have to cut out some boards to make these speakers work. Amazon was wrong. Even Crutchfield was wrong. Crutchfield said these are 5 1/4 in the back. They're not. It said the fit 'em it would work. They don't. The back of this is actually looks to be more like a 4-inch speaker. We're gonna go ahead and grab that, get it open, and see if that'll make a change. So these are probably actually what came out. Definitely not a 5 1/4, probably a 4. I'm thinking we're like 4-inch speakers all the way around on this, not a 5 1/4 like Crutchfield and Amazon both say. Here we are. Go ahead and take a look. Went in, had to use some insulation tape, just to give up a little cush to make sure it fits nice and sealed. But we did run with a 4-inch two-way Orion speakers to fit that properly. 5 1/4 were too big. Crutchfield and Amazon were both wrong. So, but it really depends on the vehicle. So, but it looks like a good fit. It's all installed. We'll put this panel back together. All right. So what we found is with the fronts, we had some wires that weren't making the stereo speakers weren't making much noise in the back. We're kind of worried that the crossovers that are built into the Toyotas was causing that. So we tested the fronts, kind of had the same issue. Put the speakers in to check and see if that was the issue. We found that the deck's just not producing hardly any sound. So it's not the crossovers. But what we did find on these Orions, anytime you have a 4 prong on each of one of those, the factory little enclosures that you have actually have a little tab here. So you're just gonna have to trim that off. Put the decal at the bottom and this little trim pair of dikes, and it just snips right off. It's perfectly. 1, 2, and now your speaker actually will fit perfectly right down in there, right along the side there. And then we'll just file it down. All right, so what we found is we were trying to modify this corner to make these fit correctly, but these are actually raised, and these 2 screws are raised. So what you get is the speaker actually not making a good seal all the way around. So we clip this one off. We're actually gonna clip this one off, and then we're gonna use the other 2 mounting holes to drill straight in. And now, as you can see, once you do onto here, straight across, you're a nice flush all the way around. So we're just gonna drill them in now. That's it.
All right, so basically what we decided to do is, since the other speakers, the 5-inch ones, didn't fit, we're we decided to put the factory ones back into the back ones. And then we decided to put the aftermarket ones into the front for now. And then when the new ones come tomorrow, we'll put those in another time. We just pulled out the old stereo and took off all the dash, and now we're gonna put the new one in.
The one thing to get to this, in order to get to these, there's a screw here behind the face. You got to get to that screw here before you can pull the cover off of the heater. And then you have screws here that hold on the stereo here on the stereo. But before you can get this piece off, you also have to pull this outer screw that will hold here and back over here under the dash. And then these screws got to come out also here. So on this panel was screwed in to right here. So those all have to be removed. And then in the cigarette ashtray here, and in here, that is where there's 2 screws underneath. You got to pull out to remove this piece to allow this to drop down to be able to remove the stereo. All right, so here's what we do. We got some screws that just want to come out. So you put your little bit of a pry tool underneath and just give it a little pressure up, and then out it goes. Slide it underneath there. Save your screw. Good to go.
All right, guys, we got some of our wiring done. All that's zip tied down there. And we're running our power and audio separate from each other so we don't get any feedback. What we're doing is we're just gonna tuck it under the carpet. As you can see kind of back here is we're doing back here. See?
Chicken, carrots, cucumber, and celery.
Got everything wired up, matching up the way it's supposed to now with our power connectors. This goes right into a back side of our stereo, and this is going to hook up right to the factory systems. This will be our power switch for the amplifier that's already hooked up for a power lead, power antenna. And that's it. We're going to go and test this out, see how we work out for right now. We'll worry about the amplifier. We know if we got the power leads, we're good to go.
We just finished putting in the Apple CarPlay touchscreen dash, and we put everything back together. Kind of a mess in here, so I gotta go clean that up. And we'll put back the car seat back in, and then we're gonna finish putting in the stuff in the back. Hey guys, it's been a while since I touched this video, but we got everything done, and you can see it's all set up. We got the cable for CarPlay and aux. And you can see you got all your side buttons here. You got your microphone, which actually works. And on the phone, it even works really well, as we've tested out. And then you got your Bluetooth streaming here, which is like Spotify or Apple CarPlay or anything for music. And then you got your home button. And then you can install a camera, but we didn't do that because we didn't really have the time, and I don't think we really bought the parts. So you got that in there. And then you got, obviously, CarPlay. You got your aux. Hands-free. You can go over here to settings, which takes you to all these little tabs, which you got your camera settings and your Bluetooth settings. And the best part probably is audio, which you got your balance and fade and EQ even, and it actually works really well. The sub works all good with this, which we switched out for a different sub. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.